नमो अरिहन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो यर्याणं नमो वज्रायाणं नमो लोये सव्वसाहुणम् मङ्गलं भगवान् वीरो मङ्गलं गौतमो गणी मङ्गलं कुन्दकुन्दाढ्यो जैन धर्मोस्तु मङ्गलम् सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वकल्याणकारकं प्रदानं सर्वधर्माणां जैनं जयतु शासनं जैनं जयतु शासनं जैनं जयतु शासनम्. So yesterday we studied about the 4 expositions. We'll again touch that chapter next week when you complete your homework, and you can submit me via voice message, or you can just write the text and send across. And after that, we will discuss about this again the next Tuesday. Today, we are moving on to the next chapter, that is lesson number 5, the 3 worlds, or Teen Lok. This particular chapter is taken from Tatvat Sutra, and there is a brief introduction on the author of Tatvat Sutra, Acharya Uma Swami. So first we'll read through this introduction, and then we will move on to the actual chapter. So just like any other acharyas, we know very little about Acharya Uma Swami, his personal life. Whatever manuscripts and other things that were available, we know that he was a chief disciple of Kunkundacharya, and he was here in the first part of the 2nd century. So almost 1900 years ago, he was there, and he earned the respect of the acharyas who followed him. And in Jain tradition, Tatvat Sutra enjoys the same dignity as Gita among the followers of Vedic religion, Bible among the Christians, and Quran among the Mohammedans. So Tatvat Sutra also, Tatvat Sutra is acceptable to all the sects of Jainism, and there are 3 things very common to all the Jains. The first one is Namokar Mantra. The second is Bhaktamar Stotra. And the third one is Tatvat Sutra. So Svetambar also believe in these 3 things, and Digambar also believe in these 3 things. And this is something common across all the sects of Jainism. During the last 2000 years, more than 100 commentaries in different languages have been written on this. On this means on Tatvat Sutra. Sarvat Siddhi by Acharya Pujyapad Swami, Tatvarth Vartik by Bhatta Akalank, Slok Vartik by Vidyanandi. These are some of the famous commentaries on Tatvat Sutra. Then there is Tatvat Sar by Acharya Amrit Chandra Suri, It is a poetic translation. Then we have Swami Samanbhadra's Gandhasti Mahabhasya, containing 84,000 sloks. But this book is right now not available because the acharyas used to write on talpatra and they never used to carry those along with them. It is only the Sravak who used to collect all these talpatras, and that's how we have got these scriptures with us. Another commentary is Artha Prakashika of the old Hindi scholar Pandit Sadasukdas ji. Then modern scholars have also written many commentaries in Khadi Boli. It is the first Jain scripture in the Sanskrit language. So the whole of Tattva Sutra is written in Sanskrit in the sutra form, or we can say in the formula form. So very short lines and having a deep meaning. So it is the first Jain scripture in Sanskrit language. The present portion has been taken from the 4th chapter of Tattva Sutra. So this is all about the introduction of Acharya Uma Swami. And now we will move on to the chapter 3 Worlds. So Aditi Ji Jain, can you read? If you have the books with you.
Ji, I can read. Am I audible? Hello.
You don't have the textbook?
I do have the textbook. Am I audible?
From page number 28.
Okay. 3 Worlds. Lok. Student. Sir, we were told in the discourse that Kunkundacharya had gone to Videsh Kshetra for having darshan of Simandar Swami. Where is Videsh Kshetra? Teacher. The whole universe has been divided into 3 worlds. We live in the central world. This has innumerable islands and seas circling each other. In the center is the Jambudweep, which is surrounded on all sides by Lavan Sea. All round this is the Dhati Khand island surrounded by Kalodadi Sea. Then there is Pushkarvar Island and Pushkarvar Sea. This way, there are innumerable islands and seas. So we live in the Jambu Island. Where is Simandar Bhagwan live? Teacher, he is also in Jambu Island, which is not small. The expansion is 1 lakh yojans. Just in the center is the round Sumeru Mount. There are 6 big mountains which lie from east to west, dividing this Jambu Island. There are Himavan, Mahahimavan, Nishad, Neel, Rukmi, and Shikeri. Student. When these 6 lie from east to west, the Jambu Island should have 7 parts. Teacher. Yes, these 7 parts are called 7 regions. Their names are Bharat, Himavat, Hari, Videh, Ramyak, Hairanyavat, and Eravat. Student. I have now understood that the central region is called Videsh Kshetra, where Simandar Bhagwan is propagating his gospels in the religious conference, that is Samavsharan. Teacher. Just in the south thereof is the Bharat Kshetra, where we live. Kunkun was born here and went to Videsh. Student. Can we not go there? Teacher. No. Did I not tell you that there are huge mountains in the way? On each of these mountains is a big tank from which 14 rivers rise and flow in all 7 regions. These rivers are Ganga Sindhu, Rohitsya, Harit Harikanta, Sita Sitoda, Nari Narkanta, Swarnakula, Rupayakula, and Raktoda. These rivers flow in the order of two in each region from Bharat to Eravat, the first one falling in the eastern sea and the second in the western. This central world is also called the standing world, Triyaklok, because it is oblique in habitation. Student, what do you mean? Habitations are all oblique. Teacher, habitations of the central world are oblique, but not those of the lower world. They are they are one below the other. Student, what is the lower world? Teacher, just below the central world, we have seven hells named Ratnaprabha, Shar Shargraprabha, Balukraprabha, Pankaprabha, Dhumprabha, Tamaprabha, and Mahatmaprabha. They are one below the other. These habitations are full of torture and are like cavities. The climate is very foul. The beings habitating these hells are unhappy due to the unfavorable atmosphere. Besides, they are under the influence of strong passions and so are always killing and attacking one another. In fact, they are abodes of misery. When people indulge in strong demerits, they are born in these hells. These, those born in these are called hellish beings. Student, sinners go to these hells. Where do the virtuous go? Teacher, the virtuous goes to the heaven. Student, where are these heavens? What is their nature? Teacher, heavens are in the upper world. Student, are they oblique or one below the other? They are one upon the other in their mind. Student, there are seven hells. How many are the heavens? Teacher, there are 16 heavens named Saudharmeshan, Sanat Kumar Mahindra, Brahma Brahmoti, Lantav Kapishta, Shukra Mahashukra, Satar Sahastra, Anat Pranat, Aran Achyut. Above these are situated nine Gravyakas, 9 Anudish, and 5 Anutar celestial chariots. Student, what is above these? Teacher, the Siddhashila where countless Siddhas repose ordinarily. This is the description of the three worlds. Student, sir, I am not fully satisfied. Please explain these in more detail. Teacher, what more can be explained in one lesson? If you are inquisitive, try to know more details from Tattvat Sutra, Tattvat Vartika, Triloksar, and other secret books.
Thank you. So we see there are these three worlds. The upper world is called the Urdhva Lok. Then we have the middle world, Madhya Lok, where we reside right now is Madhya Lok. And then we have lower world called the Adho Lok. So there, this whole occupied universe is divided into three worlds known as the upper world, middle world, lower world. So where do we live right now is this earth. And this earth is one part of the Arya Khand. Out of the total 6 Khands are there. So 5 belongs to the Dravidians and 1 belongs to the Aryan. So this earth is part of that Aryan Khand. And then we do have this whole universe, which is quite bigger than what the world is. So we know only of this earth, but this earth is a small part of the whole universe. The scientists are recovering, the scientists are doing their research and they are discovering some, and some other scientist comes and says, no, that discovery is not correct, that was not correct. So these kind of controversies are going on among the scientists, and what they have discovered is just, I can say, 1% of what is there, what is known by our omniscient. So omniscient in his knowledge knows everything about the universe, and from there the scriptures have come. So whatever is depicted in the scriptures are according to the omniscient. So but the modern science does not accept these things because they want proof, and some of the things can be proved, but some of the things are cannot be proved because it is all as per omniscient, and these are all very subtle things which the knowledge that we have now, the Mati Shrut Gyan or the sensory knowledge, is not capable of capturing all those things, minute things. So we are just reading the scriptures which has been passed on from the Tirthankars, and it has come to us. So by reading those scriptures, we are able to know all these things, how long, how big was this Madhya Lok, and how Jambu Dweep and other. So we move on to the descriptions, then we will understand better. So it begins with a conversation between a student and a teacher, and the student says that Kunkund Acharya had gone to Videsh Kshetra for having darshan of Simandar Swami. So where is this Videsh Kshetra? So then the description begins. The whole universe has been divided in 3 worlds. We live in the central world. This has innumerable islands and seas encircling each other. So there is one island, then encircling that island is as a sea, and after sea, again there is an island, again there is a sea, and this goes on like this. In the center, absolutely in the center, is Jambu Dweep. Jambu Dweep is a name of an island, and it is right at the center, and it is surrounded on all sides by Lavan Sea, Lavan Samudra. So Jambu Dweep is in the middle, then we have Lavan Sea or the Lavan Samudra. Now encircling this Lavan Samudra is Ghatki Khand. Okay. And this Ghatki Khand island is surrounded by Kalodadi Samudra. These are the names given here. Then there is Pushkarvar Island. And surrounding this Pushkarvar Island is Pushkarvar Sea. And this way there are innumerable islands and sea encircling one another. So we live in the Jambu Island. Where does Simandar Bhagwan live? He is also in Jambu Island, which is not small. The expansion is 1 lakh yojans. Now this measurement of yojan is such huge that it is beyond our imagination. Okay. The expansion is 1 lakh yojans. Yojan is a unit of measurement, and this Jambu Island is such a big island that it covers 1 lakh yojans. Just in the center is the round Sumeru Mount. Sumeru Parvat is at the center of this Jambu Island. There are 6 big mountains which lie from east to west, dividing this Jambu Island. They are Himvan, Mahahimvan, Nishad, Nil, Rukmi, and Shikhari. So there are these 6 big mountains. When these 6 lie from east to west, the Jambu Island should have 7 parts, because there are 6 big mountains standing apart. So the Jambu Island should have 7 different parts. And what are these 7 parts called? Their names are Bharat, Himvat, Hari, Vide, Ramyak, Heranyavat, Eravat. 7 parts are there. So we are in the Bharat Kshetra, and Simandar Swami is in the Vide Kshetra. So in total there are 7 parts, out of which Bharat is one where we do reside, and there is Vide Kshetra. 4th one is the Vide Kshetra, where Simandar Paramatma is presently there. Student, I have now understood that the central region is called Vide Kshetra, where Simandar Bhagwan is propagating his gospels in the religious conference, that is Samosaran. Just in the south thereof is Bharat Kshetra. So to the south of Vide Kshetra is the Bharat Kshetra, where we live. Kunkund Acharya was born here and he went to Vide Kshetra. Can we not go there? No. Did I tell you that there are huge mountains in the way? On each of these mountains is a big tank from which 14 rivers rise and flow in all the 7 regions. These are Ganga Sindhu. So Ganga Sindhu is in the Bharat Kshetra. Rohityas is in Himvat. Hari Kanta is in Hari Kshetra. Then Sita Sitoda is in Vide Kshetra. Then Nari Narkanta is in Ramya Kshetra. Then Swarnakula Rupyakula is in Heranyavat Kshetra. And then the last one is Rakta Raktoda. It is in Eravat Kshetra. So 2 rivers on each Kshetra. So we have total 14 rivers. These rivers flow in the order of 2 in each region, from Bharat to Eravat. The first one falling in the eastern sea and the second in the western. This central world is also called slanting world, Tiryak Lok, because it is oblique in habitation. So I will show you, I'll send you the pictures of this Lokakash. The shape of Lokakas is described as a man standing with hands on his waist. You must have seen this diagram. It is there in the Hindi version. The photo is given. Let me see. No, it is not there. Only the Jambudvip's photo is given. But I will share from the Tattvat Sutra book that I have. It's all in colors picture. So I will share after the class. So this was all about this central world. Habitations of the central world are oblique. Oblique means slanting, but not those of the lower world. they are one below the other. So which one was the lower world? Lower world was Adolok. Lower world is called Adolok. The middle world is called the Madhyalok, where we live. What is this lower world? Just below the central world or the Madhyalok, we have 7 hells named Ratna Prabha, Sharkra Prabha, Baluka Prabha, Pank Prabha, Dhum Prabha, Tamha Prabha, and Mahatam Prabha. So these are the name of the 7 hells which are just below the Madhyalok. So we say, no, okay, these people are doing so much of sins, so they will be born in as a hellish being. So there are 7 hells below this Madhyalok, and these names are given. They are one below the other. So it's in a sequence, one below the other. These habitations are full of tortures and are like cavities. So in this hell, hellish beings live, and they are suffering miseries every moment, and the description of those miseries are, it's not possible to tell in words. So they are suffering these miseries in a huge way. These habitations are full of tortures and are like cavities. The climate is very foul. The climate is not very favorable, I would say. The beings habitating these hells are unhappy due to unfavorable atmosphere. Besides, they are under the influence of strong passions. So all these hellish beings have strong passions, and so are always killing and attacking one another. So they have this body of that kind, that one hellish being comes and kills one another hellish being, and again it joins up and it starts living. So the minimum age in this hellish being is 10,000 years, and some of the hellish beings have life of 33 Sagaropam, such a huge life. So these keeps on killing each other and attacking each other, fighting with each other, and this is how their time goes. In fact, they are abodes of miseries when people indulge in strong demerits, right? This is to be understood. When people indulge in strong demerits, they are born in these hells. Those born in these hells are called hellish beings. So when people indulge in sinful activities or inauspicious activities, they are born in these hells. Sinners go to these hells. Where do the virtuous goes? So people who are into heavy sins, they go to hell. So where do the people who are doing all the auspicious things or the merits things, where do they go? The virtuous go to the heavens. So heavens is above the Madhyalok. Where are these heavens? What is their nature? Heavens are in the upper world, and it is also called Urdhvalok. Are they oblique or one below the other? They are one upon the other. So in the hellish, it was one below the other. In the Madhyalok, it was all oblique, and in the upper world or the Urdhva Lok, it is one upon the other. I shall show you their situation in the map. So, so in the Hindi book, Jambudvip, picture of Jambudvip is given, but I will send you the diagram of all the three worlds. There are 7 hells. How many are the heavens? So there were 7 hells. So how many are heavens? There are 16 heavens named. So these are in pair. So there will be 8 pair. Sodharm Eshan. Then we have Sanat Kumar Mahendra. Then we have Brahma Brahmottar. Then we have Lantav Kapist. Shukra Mahashukra. Satar Sahastrar. Anat Pranat and Aran Achyut. Above these are situated 9 Gravekas. Then above that 9 Gravekas, there is 9 Anudish. And above this 9 Anudish are 5 Anuttar celestial chariots. Okay, so this chariots is also called Viman. So above this 16 heavens, there are 9 Graveks, and then we have 9 Anudisht, and then we have 5 Anuttar celestial chariots. What is above this? What is above 5 Anuttar celestial chariots? The Sid Sila, where countless Siddhas repose. Ordinarily, this is the description of the 3 worlds. So above this heavens is the Siddh Sila, which is our ultimate target. We all want to attain Siddh Avastha, and this Siddh, then this Siddh Jivas live in this Siddh Sila, and these are the souls who have been liberated. So all those liberated souls reside in the Siddh Sila, which is above the above all the chariots. Sir, I am not fully satisfied. Please explain this in more details. What more can be explained in one lesson? If you are inquisitive, if you have further queries, then you can study in detail Tattvart Sutra, Tattvart Vartik, Triloksar, and other scriptures. So this was all about the 3 world. So Bharat Sektra is divided into further 6 regions called Khand. Earth is a part of Arya Khand, which is one of those 6. So the other are Dravidians, and this one is Aryan Khand. So Earth is one of that part. Earth is a small part. The planets that we see, including the sun and the moon, are all stellar celestial beings. So celestial beings are of 4 types: Vyantar, Jyotisi, the last one is Vaimanik, and there is one more type. Vyantar, Jyotisi, Bhavanvasi. Okay, so these are the 4 types of celestial beings. So this sun and the moon are abode of stellar celestial beings. This fact is hard to digest, but actually in reality, Earth is not moving. It is the sun and the moon which is moving. Earth is stationary in its place. But the modern science says that the Earth keeps on moving, and that's why we have night and day. So this modern science is being researched by the scientists who are just human beings. But whatever is said in our scriptures is directly from the sermons of the omniscient, and omniscient knows everything. So, of course, this is more reliable what our omniscient has said, and scientists are yet to catch up on those, because these scientists have this limited mati shrut gyan, what this sensory knowledge and the scriptural knowledge. So they have very limited knowledge, and again they have to use instruments like telescopes to see all these planets and everything. The omniscient's knowledge is independent of any instrument or any sensory organs. They know from the space points of the soul itself. So this omniscience does not have any attachments or aversions, which indicates that their sermons tells the absolute truth without any misunderstanding or bias. The purpose of knowing the structure of the universe is to accept the divine power of omniscience and understand that every soul can attain it. So one more thing that we can realize from this reading the chapter of three world is that the soul is the same. It is moving from one state of existence to another. Now we are in human form, right? But according to the karma that we have bound in this life, we are going to born in that state of existence after we end this life. So depending on the karma or the activities that we do, similar karmas are bound, and accordingly we have to take birth in all these things. So if we are doing intense sins, then of course we are going to be born in hell, hellish. We are going to be born as hellish beings, and otherwise in subhuman state. But if we are doing charity, donations, and helping others, then we are going to be born in the celestial beings, which is in the Urdhva Lok. So depending on the kind of sentiments that we manifest in ourselves, the karmas are bound actually accordingly to that. If we are doing auspicious things, then we have auspicious karmas. We are bounded by auspicious karma, and when it comes to fruition, we get all the good things in life. But if we are doing heavy sins, then we will be binding inauspicious karma, and when those inauspicious karma comes into fruition, we will be facing all the adverse situations. So by knowing these three worlds, we know that there are this kind of space existing, and there are souls also who are residing there, and they have gone there just because of their deeds, past deeds. So the soul does not die, it keeps on changing its body from hellish being to human being, or human being to celestial beings, or from to subhuman stage. So this kind of transmigration keeps on happening. And if we realize ourselves and walk on the path of liberation, we will also get liberated one day. But we have to follow we will have to follow in the footsteps of the Panch Parmeshtis. So they have already become God, Aryant and Siddh Bhagwan. They have already become God, and Sadhu, Acharyas and Upadhyas are in now monkhood state, and they are also going to achieve Aryant Avastha and Siddha Avastha very shortly. So this is how a mundane soul starts its journey, and then he gets liberated, ultimately gets liberated. And in between, he takes birth in all the four states of existence, and there is not a single place on this universe where this soul has not taken birth innumerable times, not one time or two times, but innumerable times we have taken birth in every space points, or in every time, Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, and Bhav. So we have been wandering from time immortal. So we have not a space left where we have not been born. So this is not something new that we are doing, but if we study the scriptures and understand the scriptures, and if we are able to realize ourselves and follow in the footsteps of the gods, then we will be doing our utmost benefit, and we will also get liberated one day. So this is what was all about these three worlds. The next chapter is about the 7 addictions, or the 7 vices, Sapt Vyasan. This is also a very good topic, and since we have some time left over, we can just see the introduction of the author, Pandit Banarsi Das Ji. So this Pandit Banarsi Das Ji was here in around 400 years ago. In the 16th, 17th century, Pandit Banarsi Das Ji was there, so exactly around 400 years ago. Famous both in the field of poetry and spiritualism, Pandit Banarsi Das was a great poet and spiritual scholar of the 17th century. He was born on Sunday, the 11th day of the second half of Magh month in the Srimal dynasty at Lala Kharag Sen's house. So the exact timing is, according to the common era, it is 1587. So he was born in 1587, so more than 400 years. When he was then named Vikramajit. So when he was born, he was named as Vikramajit, but later on he went to Banaras for a pilgrim visit, And after that, his name was, he was called by Banarsi Das ji name because he went to Varanasi. He was the only son of his parents. He saw many ups and downs in his life. He had to face financial difficulties many a time, and his family life was also not very happy. He married thrice and had 9 children. Can you imagine? He married thrice because his first wife died and there were kids. So he married again. Then again he had kids, and that lady also died. So he married for the 3rd time. But to his tragedy, he had 9 children, but none remained alive. And in one of the cases, somebody asked, Banaras Das ji kidhar gaye the? So then he said कि मेहमान आए थे ना, उनको छोड़ने गया था. So he just went to cremate one of his child. So none remained alive, and he lived only for 55 years. So in short, in such a short life, he married thrice, he had 9 children, and all of them died. He did not lose his patience even in such difficult circumstances because he used to be absorbed in spiritual thinking. So Banarsi Das ji was an enlightened soul. His wisdom, he was having good wisdom. And because of that, in spite of having so much of difficult circumstances in his life, he was still patient, and he used to practice descriptive knowledge. He was a born poet. At the age of 14, he began to compose verses of a high order. Of a high order means of very good quality. But in his early years, he wrote verses on love and sex, Shringar Ras. So he used to write verses on this Shringar Ras. But when he realized that spiritualism is the actual thing that we need to do in this life, so then such were good creations, but he went near a river, and all his work he immersed in that river. His first work, Nauras, was ready when he was barely 14. These had poems of a corporeal nature. It was an important work on corporeal subject. However, the poet threw it in river Gomti when spiritual wisdom dawned upon him. So when he was enlightened, he threw it in river Gomti. After that, all his life was full of spiritualism. 4 works written after that are available. The first one is Natak Samay Saris, which is a very famous. It was based on Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev's Kalash, and the Kalastika written by Pandey Rajmal ji. But he added something more on this book, in this book, and so it became an independent scripture to be read. Then we have Banarasi Vilas, which had content of many good poems. And then we have Nam Mala and Ardh Kathanak. Natak Samaysar is in a way poetic translation of the verses of Amrit Chandra Acharya. However, due to the keen insight of the poet, the study of this book gives delight as that of an independent work. This book is full of spiritualism. Ardh Kathanak is the first autobiography in Hindi language and is a fully developed work of art. The 55 years of the life of the poet has been described as in a looking glass. So this Ardh Kathanak is autobiography. It is the first autobiography in Hindi language, and this states about the whole life of Banarsi Das ji. Banarasi Vilas is a collection of different writings, and Nammala is a poetic dictionary. The poet is unmatched both in his poetic art and his pursuit of truth. So Banarsi Das was a very talented poet as well as spiritual leader and spiritual master. And he was instrumental in writing all these good works and commentaries. And Samaysar, Natak Samaysar has become very famous. And it is being read by many mumukshus right now. So this was all about Banarsi Das ji, and he was just, we can imagine he married thrice and had 9 children. So 9 plus 3, 12 persons dying in front of you, and you just can imagine how he managed these things. Just because he was an enlightened soul, he used his power of wisdom and his understanding of Jain principles, and that's how we managed those situations. And we can also learn these principles, and we can also be happy at all time by applying these principles that we have learned, that we are learning now. So this is a very comprehensive course, and you will be quite busy the coming 5 years, but you will acquire such kind of depth in the scriptural studies that is very rare to find. People do read people do simply reading, but they don't contemplate much. But the uniqueness of our course is that because of the assignments, regular assignments that we give to you, you always have, you have to always sit across and contemplate on those things before writing or before appearing for orals. So this way you will be continuously connected with this religious studies, and that is going to benefit you. The continuity is going to benefit you, and this is all about Pandit Banarsi Das ji. And next week we will begin with the main chapter of 7 addictions, and then we'll take it forward from there. So do you have any questions for today? Anybody having any questions?
So what is mumuksh?
Mumukshu is we all sadharmiks are known as mumukshu. The exact meaning of mumukshu is Tivra Mokshka Abhilashi. है ना? Mokshka Tivra Abhilashi. So one who wants to attain liberation, one who is serious about attaining liberation, and one who is intensely interested in achieving the liberation is called the mumukshu. मोक्ष के अभिलाषी को मुमुक्षु कहते हैं. So we are all mumukshus because we have a common objective to attain, to be liberated. So this is all about it. Any other questions?
Sir, I have actually one question. So I would want to know, like, do we have like separate courses for like you were talking about the mathematics of Jainism or the Scientology, for example, of Jainism? Like हम लोग 3 लोग की बात कर रहे थे, तो उसकी maybe like sizing and like
Yeah.
मतलब more deeper analytics into each of those courses.
Yeah. So once you are through to this 5 years course, then you will be in a position to read each. You can read any of the scriptures that we have and you will understand everything. This much of confidence that you will develop. And some of them we are going to cover. We are going to teach you at least 40 books, 40 different books.
Okay.
So in those, we'll be reading some of the important ones here. And then some you have to catch up later on your own.
Okay, sir. All right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Or it may be taught in the master's program that is going on right now. So
Okay. Okay. All right, sir. Okay. Thank
this
you.
this will be enough. If you are seriously studying this much, regularly studying, then you will have confidence in yourself to read any of the scriptures.
Okay. All right. Okay, sir.
Okay, so
Sir, when are you going to take the orals?
orals, after we complete this part 2, so I will give you topics from this part 2 only.
Sir,
And then we will do it after we finish part 2. So
sir,
by
some of the
meantime, you can,
Read.
so you have already finished this concept clarity 1. And so after we finish part 2, so there will be 2 homeworks simultaneously. One will be concept clarity paper 2, and then you have this orals coming up. But it is all very easy. I'll just guide you. And after that, we will do paper 3. So every semester we will have 3 papers, and this will be the pattern across 10 semesters.
also some of the scriptures are in Sanskrit language, and some of the scriptures are in Prakrit language. So what is the difference between Sanskrit and Prakrit, sir?
So Prakrit is the ancient language, and after 1000 years after Prakrit was introduced, Sanskrit was introduced. And after 500-600 years down the line, we had this Hindi, Khadi Boli Hindi. And then it kept on changing. And now we have this modern Hindi. So this changes according to time. Even if you see the words being used, so every 25 years you have some new words coming up, some old words fading. So this keeps on changing, and style also keeps on changing. So this is how Prakrit was the original language. Prakrit means nature. So it was the natural language that people used in those days. And then subsequently, when people were not studying Prakrit so much, so then came the Sanskrit language, because at that point of time, people were talking in Sanskrit more. So similarly, now we have this modern Hindi going on. But 25 years down the line, we have some more changes in the language. So this language keeps on changing according to time, and that's how this language has changed over a period of time. Anything else? So we'll close for the day. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है।